Thursday is absolutely huge for Tottenham because we're playing Crystal Palace at home and we sit only 4 points above the relegation zone. There is a chance that if West Ham win their game on Wednesday, we will be entering that pitch only 1 point above the relegation zone. Something totally unthinkable, and the question is, can we win this very, very important London derby? So first of all, injury update. Obviously, the main injuries which we've looked at in past videos, they haven't been coming back into full fitness. Pedro Porro is back, obviously, and Danso as well. We both saw them in the last game against Fulham, which we did unfortunately lose 2-1. Obviously, before that Fulham game as well, Jed Spence picked up a calf injury, and it is currently uncertain as to whether he will be able to play for us against Crystal Palace on Thursday as well. But apart from that, nothing much else to talk about that. Also now, we need to look at our last performance. Now, our last performance, unfortunately, was very, very poor. We only had one shot on target. The midfield seemed completely anonymous, and to be honest, I think there are some issues with the team that we're playing. I think Archie Gray should not be moving around from right back where he was the game before Fulham, and then all of a sudden moving to left back when really he is a central player. I'm not saying all of these players are excellent, but I think certainly if we could play them in their preferred positions where they should be playing, I think we will certainly have a much better chance. Obviously, last game there was a very, very controversial referee decision as to that push on Dragusin, which should have been given as a foul considering the one that Kolimwani had given against him last week. But anyways, we are focusing on the future against Crystal Palace, and also questions do need to be asked if we don't win this game against Crystal Palace, whether or not we should continue with Tudor, because really, looking at the current Premier League table, as we saw before, we're only 4 points above relegation. There is a chance that, of course, teams around us could pick up points, and especially Palace as well. If they win, they are long ahead. They would be 9 points ahead of us, and they'll be streets ahead, and it will only continue growing at that point, and it is looking very, very worrying right now. But of course, we've talked about our injuries, we've talked about where we should have players playing, and we've also talked about our current league position and our last performances. And now I think it would be good to look at Crystal Palace as well. So, looking at Crystal Palace, a good thing to look at first would probably be their injury list. Now, their injury list, it also includes someone who isn't injured, someone who actually got a red card in their last game against Manchester United, and that is Lacroix, one of their best defenders, got a red card against Manchester United very, very recently on Sunday in that 2 p.m. kickoff for a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. So thankfully for us, he will not be participating in the game on Thursday, which, by the way, I am going to, so don't forget to subscribe to see the Matchday blog for that one. And then also we have these players here who are also injured, some pretty noticeable names, obviously Jean Mateta, also Lerma as well, and Eddie Nketiah, who also used to play for Arsenal, by the way. But yeah, Lerma looks like he's going to be back, and the rest don't really seem like it at all. But yeah, so these are the currently injuries they have. Some really good players, some of their really best players. Obviously, Mateta, one of their best goal scorers. Lacroix, one of their main defenders. I mean, the list is not similar to ours because we have so many more, but at least there is some sort of balance there. It's not like they've got their completely fit team, but also we certainly do not have ours either. Now, let's also have a little look at how Crystal Palace like to set up. Crystal Palace in their quite a few last few games, obviously they have been playing a 3-4-2-1 formation. This was their team against Manchester United, obviously being led out by Strand Larsen at striker, and also Brennan Johnson, who we sold to Crystal Palace, which, by the way, I certainly do not think we should have done. He was one of our main goal scorers, and whether you like him or not, he scored goals, and I do not think we should have sold him. But of course, they do have red cards from them. They also have injuries, and they do like to set up in this 3-4-2-1 formation. And as you're probably all aware, a bit like us, on a slightly different kind of part of the club, they are going on a bit of a crisis. Obviously, Gueye, he left. He decided to leave for Manchester City. Their captain, Oliver Glasner, has said he's going to leave by the end of the season. And to be honest, their results haven't really been very good either since all this has started to happen. And if we take a look at their last results, obviously they did just lose to Manchester United yesterday, but also Obviously, they have been playing in the UEFA Conference League. Yes, they beat Wolves. Nice job to them. But they have been losing to Burnley. They drew to Forest. They lost to Chelsea. They lost to Sunderland. And also, they lost to Macclesfield. Like, they also did win games, obviously, against Brighton and things like that. But really, they are a team which we really do need to be taking advantage of. And I think it is absolutely crucial that we play the correct team against Crystal Palace. And also that us fans going there, we really need to also support this team on, because I think if we are able to, then for sure we can easily get up this Premier League table. We'll be only 3 points behind Palace. Hopefully we can grow this gap here. But I certainly think we are able to win this game 100% with the players that we have. Yes, we have quite a few injured, but if we look at it, really, I mean, come on. We have good players. It's just Conor Gallagher, yes, he's being paid £200,000 a week. He is our highest paid player. He hasn't been playing very well for us. That is a fact. However, he was Chelsea captain for a bit. He went to Spain to play for Atletico Madrid for a bit. He isn't a bad player. We just need them to turn up. We need them to turn up for us. Xavi Simons, he can create moments of magic. Obviously, he hasn't fully found his form for us, but I think it is certainly very, very possible. And also, some other very interesting things to see was obviously Igor Tudor abandoned his normal formation, which he usually plays for us, and decided to play with the two up top with Colin Moani and Solanke. Did this work last game? No, not really. We only had, I think, 0.88 XG in the whole game. In fact, if we look at the stats, that is precisely what it was. Yep, 0.88 from memory, and also only one shot on target, which really is quite poor. And Fulham as well played decently, but also our defence in that game really was not ideal. The build-up from the back, there are some clips circulating online with some free kicks that Vicario took, also with some play around at the back, which then just ended up hoofing the ball in the air. We really do need to hopefully start working on them, but I think it is certainly very, very possible that we do pick up the 3 points here, especially that we are at home, and make use of the players that we actually have, and also take advantage of the players that they have missing. Like, they do have some decent, really good players missing, some of their most important players. A bit like us, but then again, come on. We're Tottenham, we should hopefully be able to win this game. And obviously, the rest, there is obviously a lot which we can say, but Igor Tudor needs to get these players playing well. Obviously, they're professional football players. They know how to play football, but we need Igor Tudor to get them playing well. Obviously, he has experimented with a couple different formations in the last 2 games, but we really do need to make sure that hopefully he can get these players playing well. We need to make sure that the defending is on point, because that cost us only 6 minutes into our last game against Fulham. And that also, obviously, when we played that 2 up top against Fulham, that if we are playing 2 up top, we need this midfield to be existent. We need them to be lively. Xavi Simons in that first half, I also remember the commentator saying on Sky Sports that he was anonymous in that first half. Obviously, lots of these players, they're good. They are good. Palhinha has come from Bayern. These players are Premier League proven, but we need them to play like that. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. And if, obviously, it's very well known that if the midfield is absent, you can't blame it on the strikers. Obviously, we were spoiled with Harry Kane a few years ago when he would drop back deep. Then there'd be Son running in behind, scoring lots of goals. That highest goals and assists duo in a season ever. Very ridiculous stuff, obviously. But the point is, if the midfield isn't lively, the strikers won't be lively either, and that's really the case here. So we need to make sure our defending is good. We need to make sure that our midfield, whoever Tudor decides to play, is lively. Hopefully Vicario can have a good game in goal. We very much hope so. And hopefully Kolo Muani and Solanke, if they decide to play 2 up top, if instead it's 1 up top, maybe Kolo Muani or Solanke, it probably will be Kolo Muani is my guess, seeing as Tudor had him at Juve. Then hopefully he can also get a goal like he did against Arsenal as well. So really, that is it for today. We've covered Palace's injuries, we've covered our injuries, we've looked at the formations, we've looked at the players, we've looked at previous results of Palace, and we've kind of evaluated both teams' current situations. So that is that. Do I think we can get the 3 points? 100%. Do we have the players to do it? Yes. Do both teams have injuries? Yes. Are both teams going through a bit of a blip at the moment? Yes. Definitely we can get those 3 points. And that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe on the road to 1,000 subscribers. See you guys in the next one, and come on you Spurs.